Hey, how's it going, you guys? Welcome back to some more ChronoClock. Last episode, Michiru and Crow, as he's kind of talking about right here, were having an interesting conversation. I actually really liked it. It showed a little bit of maturity from Michiru, saying that, yeah, I'm not going to force my brother into something. I know that he loves me, you know, that kind of deal. And I'm going to wait for the right time. I'm going to wait for him to kind of confess his feelings first before we go any further, which I think is great. I think that's like the right way to approach things. And I was really happy to see her having that conversation with Crow. It's a nice little thing we don't get to see too often. We've never really seen them interact just by themselves too much. So I enjoyed that. Let's go ahead and continue on here. When I came back from playing the park with little Michiru, I found Michiru and Crow sitting together and chatting it up friendly as could be. Though they wouldn't tell me what they were talking about, something about a secret between us girls, I believe. I was a bit curious about that, but I was mostly glad to see Michiru making more friends. Even if they were talking about me, I wasn't too worried. Yeah, no, I really liked that conversation. It was good. So. Sun began to set as we were all relaxed in the park. We gathered all of our belongings and left the park together, but we weren't heading directly home. Since we were already out in the town, we decided to take a little detour and grant one of little Michiru's wishes. I believe she wanted to have some dessert. I don't know what it was sounding like. Little Michiru's eyes sparkled as she looked upon the sea at sunset. We were at the southern end of the circular monorail track. We walked past the school intending to stand on the beach and watch the sun set in the west. Little Michiru was bursting with energy, and when we got close to the beach, she started running around jovially. Once we reached the beach, however, she stopped to gaze at the amazingly beautiful, rippling sea, which was dyed with shades of crimson by the setting sun. I don't know, I gotta say, this beach sequence looks like a lot of... I don't know why I thought she was done talking. I'm just sitting here. I'm being so rude right now talking over her. I was just gonna say the beach looks like a lot of beaches I've seen kind of in the south. I know this is Japan, obviously, but I have to have something to compare it to. I'm still wondering if little Michiru is gonna figure it out. She doesn't really like say anything though, so I'm not sure if she will. The two girls' eyes sparkled even brighter from the sea. That was the thought which crossed my mind. I didn't want to interrupt the two girls as they marveled at the scenery, so I remained quiet. And then there's Crow. She's got something to say. Crow was there too, but her expression looked a bit different. She'd been with us all day, appearing at the park, but she seemed lost in thought. Crow and I naturally ended up together again, but I didn't know if it would have been a good idea to say something. What was there to talk about? I wasn't sure. I was bored, so I put my hand in my pocket, and took out the pocket watch. Wonder how it's doing. I hadn't been able to go back 5 minutes in time since it was broken, so by now I was just carrying around habitually. It had been a while since I had a close look at it. Is it fixing itself? It's just a small change, but it looked like the cracks in the case were getting smaller. It was just a feeling, so it might have been wrong. Yeah, it looks like it's starting to fix itself. I had held it out for Crow to see, and she looked at it with a serious expression. Huh. Wonder if she's concerned about something here? What's your conclusion? Yeah, I would say that's a good sign. By the way, you said it would take years. Wouldn't take years to fix itself, but what if it took? It wouldn't take like half a year, would it? I don't know. I don't choose how fast it repairs itself. I don't usually have watches that repair themselves. Don't say that. Don't say something weird like if you're not gonna tell me what it is. If something bad happened and little Michiru couldn't go home, wouldn't that be a problem? Plus, if we had to take care of her for a long time, my parents ended up finding out, that would be a bigger problem. That would mean I'd have to explain the pocket watch to them after all. I wanted to avoid doing that. Well, I'm relieved you gave me an actual definitive answer for once. I know, every game I play, they always introduce, like, this thought, like, oh, what if it's this? And then they never explain what that is. It's like, why do you gotta do that to me? Alright, we're coming. Oops, Crow, Little Mitra's calling for me, so I have to go now.
分かっておる。問題はない。じきに治る。が、まあ、我が輩には関係のないことか。
Oh boy, what's wrong, Crow? There's something going on here. She's implying. I'm trying to think of what it could be. I don't know. What would happen if the Pocket Watch repairs this? Is that a problem? Is something gonna happen? Spent more than 10 minutes on the beach. More than 10 minutes on the beach just gazing at the scenery. The sun sank lower in the sky and our bodies cast long shadows on the ground. Those shadows slowly, leisurely stretched out behind us. I'm fine. Little Michiru's pretty light. She's not the same as you, and you know that. Yeah, one of you is a little kid, one of you is not, okay, Michiru? Did my best to quiet my feelings and my voice as I walked beside Michiru. Though there were 2 shadows upon the ground, there were 3 people. I'd be happy if she did, but it's still asking a bit too much of me to carry you. Little Michiru must have worn herself out from playing because she fell asleep while watching the sunset. Crow disappeared into the sky to watch from afar as I carried little Michiru home. Perhaps she was being considerate of me and Michiru. I recalled how Michiru had thanked her back in the park, so perhaps she asked Crow to leave us alone together. But Michiru, if you're feeling tired, just tell me. I can't carry you all the way home, but we could definitely take a break. Sure, you played around a lot today. What was she reading into that for? She was still holding onto my arm, so I was supporting some of her weight. She's still a kid after all. Children always play around until they're tired, and then poof, they're out like a light. I wish I could do that. That's the thing. You go to work or do whatever you have ready for the day. You do all of that, and then you get home, you're like, wow, I'm so tired. You get into bed, and you're just wide awake. It's like, bruh, what do you mean? You were telling me I'm tired, and all of a sudden now I have energy to, like, watch a million videos or do whatever. Frustrating. Wouldn't really call it falling unless you mean she fell asleep in my lap. Once we get home and put little Michiru to bed, maybe afterwards. You promised, right? Yeah, I feel like Michiru actually is capable of, like, restraining herself, especially after that conversation she had with Crow. I was really surprised to hear, like, hey, I'm not gonna, like, try to force anything on him right now. I really just want him to confess his feelings, and we'll go from there. I think that was more mature of her to say. Michiru certainly wasn't lying about being jealous of little Michiru, but even more than that, she had been worried about her. Once we were sure that little Michiru was just tired and not sick, she mentioned her jealousy in a way that was almost bashful. Of course, I understood how Michiru had wanted to talk to me more often during the day. She was also beginning to get attached to little Michiru, and she didn't want to admit it. I don't mind if she wants to wake up, but I wouldn't want to disturb her while she's sleeping. Yeah, I feel like we're almost home anyways, but, like, might as well just keep her on our back. I adjusted little Michiru's position on my back, and Michiru adjusted her position by my side. Of course. Michiru was very close to me, sheepishly holding onto my sleeve. When I started walking again, Michiru was a little slower, following half a step behind me. Am I walking too fast? Yeah, that's true. It's probably already hard carrying someone on your back. Even though I said she was light, I couldn't support little Michiru's weight with just one hand. I considered the possibility, but I would worry about dropping her if I didn't carry her with both hands. Sorry for making you worry. I'll make some time for us to sit and talk.
ですが、勘違いはしないでくださいね。みちると3人で話す時間ももちろん楽しいですから。世話をするのも苦労はありますが、今までにない充足感があります。
Or so Michiru said, but her face looked a bit
ただ
troubled.
少しだけみちるに嫉妬をしてしまいますね。
Of course you do. Of course.
これまでは兄様の優しさが大人げないと、兄様は好まないと分かっていても止められないのです。
If I made you feel that way, then I have to apologize.
そんなつもりでは。
At times like this, the big brother is always at fault. Until you said that, I thought I was treating you both like you were
そのよ
precious.
うなことはありませんよ。大切にされている実感はありましたから。
Yeah, that's kind of the hard thing in life, like balancing relationships with people. It's really hard to make everyone feel like they're getting equal time and they're getting enough time when you're in a group. Or like when you're used to there just being 2 of you and now there's 3. I feel like that would be very hard to balance it, because it's like you can't ignore one, because then, I don't know, just somebody ends up feeling a little bit less valued or maybe a little bit more ignored than they should be. And that's not how it has to be. I feel like part of that is your responsibility. Like if you're really trying to show 2 people at once that you care about them and you want to spend time with them, like you gotta kind of balance it. On the other hand, I feel like they need to understand that you're doing your best. You're not really trying to ignore anybody. If you really love them and they really love you, then you don't need to worry about feeling ignored as much. But I mean, that's just my opinion.
ただ3人でいる時間も2人きりの時間も欲しくなってしまいました。みちるではなく私を見てほしいと。わがままですね。
I don't think it's selfish as long as like it's balanced. I mean, it's fine to want a little bit of attention for yourself every day, especially if like the person you love is kind of dividing it. I don't feel like that's selfish, but also, yeah, I agree with just like, hey, just mention this to them. I feel like it makes a big difference when you make someone aware of something rather than just assuming and then getting mad based off that assumption that they should be knowing that when they're not purposely ignoring you, but maybe they're just not focusing on it as much as you'd like. Grip my sleeve tightly. Selfish? If anything, I think she's becoming more honest. Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay as a human being to be a little bit selfish sometimes. I'm not saying like, oh, you should never share anything or do something that extreme, right? But I'm talking about just, it's okay to like take care of your own needs before taking care of other people. Because that's it. Ultimately, like, I always heard growing up the story of like, you can't save someone who's drowning if you're drowning yourself. Like, you need to be on solid ground in order to pull somebody out. It's pretty hard to save someone who's like flailing and doing all that when you're drowning yourself. So I feel like that's just kind of the lesson there. It's like, yeah, don't be selfish, but don't like not take care of yourself in life. I tried to pamper her more often lately, but she still hasn't seemed as sad as she used to
これ
be.
までの私なら兄様と一緒にいられなくても兄様を思って笑みを浮かべられていました。兄様が女性のご友人と一緒にいてもここまで心を乱さなかったはずです。にもかかわらず今はみちるに自分を重ねてしまうのです。
I mean, that's an interesting way of putting it.
妹として触れ合えるのは私だけだったのにと。
I mean, technically, you still are. Michiru was very apologetic, but I was the one who should have been apologizing. Knowing that Michiru cared for me as profoundly as this warmed my heart to its very core. I'm happy that you treasure our time together. Of course, I don't plan on leaving you sad and alone. I want you to continue to treasure our time together.
いいのでしょうか。
Makes me happy that you do. Michiru wants to be with the person she cares for, and the fact that she restrains herself when she feels envy for others shows that she is a tender, caring girl. That's why Michiru is dear to me. I'll try to make more time for both of us, just for you and for me both.
ありがとうございます。
When Michiru smiled, it made me happy too. On the other hand, I saw that something was bothering her earlier. It started to bother me too. When I calmed my heart and put my feelings into words, the true nature of my feelings gradually came into focus. You're my precious little sister. Being by your side always warms my heart.
大切な男性として愛していますよ。
Yes, Michiru. Actually, I did happen to know that from the many times you have tried to consummate with me. Yes, and I love you too.
兄様
That doesn't mean we can start dating each other right away. After all, there's the issue of us being siblings, what our family might think, plus we need to sort out the situation with little Michiru too.
道のりは長いということですか。
That's right. Michiru tried not to look too disappointed when I said that. I didn't want her to wear that troubled expression again. I don't intend to keep you waiting for too long.
えっと
I intend to give you the answer you want to hear, all in due time. Michiru hesitated for a moment, as if she couldn't understand what I was saying. She closed her eyes, and when she opened them again, a smile spread across her face.
いつまでも待たせていただきますね。今でしたら兄様の返事を待つのも辛くはありませんから。
A soft smile played on her lips as she hastened her gait to fall in line with my own. I told you I wouldn't keep you waiting for long, didn't I?
待つ時間も楽しそうですからね。それに兄様と二人きりでなくみちると三人の時間も。え、
Yeah, times like this make me happy too.
私と一緒ですね。
I looked Michiru in the eye for a moment and smiled. The weight on my back felt quite pleasant. I wonder if this is what it feels like to be married with kids.
その兄様
Sure. Those words slipped out of my mouth, but they were my true feelings. I didn't try to deny saying them. It's what it feels like when I spend time with you and little Michiru. I can't imagine what it'll be like if we start dating, but I can certainly imagine a future together with you and little Michiru.
つまり兄様は私との結婚生活を
Oh no, not delusions.
しただけですか？
Every time I hear delusions, I think of Chaos Child. Like, oh no, am I gonna have some bars on the left and right side of the screen I gotta select? Delusions isn't the right word I would use, but I did imagine something like that. He's just gonna whip out a D-sword. Of course, romance and dating are very different from getting married, so we have to think about them separately.
喜んでいいのかよくわかりません。兄様のお言葉ですとみちるがいなければ進展しないとも取れますし。
I don't think that's true. I think you guys would have still made progress, but I think this has certainly been an experience that's helped them grow together in different ways, rather than just kind of what they're talking about. Like they're talking about, you know, what it would be like if they were married and they've been taking care of a child together. I mean, they've kind of had that experience. I know they're technically not dating or nothing yet, but I feel like they've had some experience like that. They've gotten to see what that's like without thinking about it too much. Whereas I think normally they would have had to approach it from just strictly a brother and sister thing without any kind of distractions or anything else going on. They would have to just kind of face it directly. I don't know which one would be better. I guess this. I think this is a more natural way of easing into it. Even though it's a very unnatural situation. Let's say that. Normally you wouldn't have a little version of yourself. But, you know, that is not true. Or rather, I'd like to say that that is rather hard to imagine. Even if I was aware of Michiru as a member of the opposite sex, there was definitely a difficult line to cross in that regard. Seeing you with little Michiru showed me a different side of you that I never knew about. I liked what I saw, and it made me think that I could have a happy life just as long as I'm with you. It made me seriously believe that I didn't need anything else to be happy. Looking back at my past self, who was obsessed with stupid things like finding a girlfriend or losing his virginity, that's true, I just had to laugh. I want to be with you from now on. For the rest of my life, I don't ever want to leave you. It wasn't a confession of my feelings, it wasn't the answer Michiru wanted to hear. Nevertheless, they were my true feelings.
私も兄様と同じ気持ちです。兄様とこれからもずっとあの子も含めて
Is that what's gonna happen?
一緒にいられたらと思います。
Is Crow, was that kind of her concern? Is that the watch is gonna heal, but it's not gonna send her back at all?
そうしたら幸せだと思いますから。
Okay, if they go this route, like, let's just say we continue on with that, she doesn't end up leaving, they get to raise little Michiru, which would be kind of weird. But here's the reason why I now think after this conversation, I think they're going to do that. Because first of all, it solves the problem of them having a kid together. Obviously, there are some big problems with that, and this would solve that. So, okay, I'm like, mind blown. This is probably what they're gonna do so that they don't have to have a biological kid, because you know that would be very taboo, even more so than what they're already doing. The second thing that solved, what was the second thing it solved? And I totally forgot. What were we talking about? Okay, I'll think of it. I had a second thing, and I got so focused on that one, couldn't remember. Really think so.
もちろんです。
Michiru didn't laugh at the wish I had expressed to
だっ
hear.
て当然ではありませんか。兄様を最も愛しているのはこの私なのですから。
Oh, okay. Sorry, well, we gotta go back. So the other thing this solved was my whole debate about whether she should tell little Michiru about her blindness. I think by not doing that, they're kind of solving the thing of we're gonna have to raise her, and I don't want to have that expectation of she might be unable to see. Like, she'll find out that she's blind, and then I'll tell her that I'm blind. So it's not like a, oh, you could have saw this coming or kind of situation. That brings its own problems though, because imagine knowing that you're going to be blind and your mom essentially doesn't say anything. It also brings the problem, what happens to Michiru from the place that she got taken from? Does she just, I don't know what ends up happening to that kind of timeline. I'm curious. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep seeing, but I think that's probably where they're headed with this, and I don't think that'd be a bad ending. I think that'd be pretty cool. Then Michiru showed me a big smile as if she couldn't restrain it any longer.
兄様、私幸せですよ。幸せだから兄様のことも幸せにしてあげられるのです。
Michiru's pleasant voice echoed in my
これま
heart.
での私は小さな世界で完結していたのだと思います。美咲さんやみえさんとの時間も大切でしたが、兄様とは比べられませんでしたから、兄様さえいれば他には何もいらないと。将来のことなど考えもしませんでした。ですが今は違うのです。兄様とそれにみちると、こういう3人の生活が私の理想なのだと信じられるのです。そこに DD さんや他の方々も私たちの世界に加わってくださるのならと、兄様を好きな人と一緒にお互いを思い合っていけたら。
I pondered over that future. It would undoubtedly be a happy
そう
one.
したら改めて兄様が好きなのだと思いました。兄様といたいと感じました。兄様を愛しています。ですからこれからも思い続けていいでしょうか。
Yeah, of course. The scenery sparkled with the orange glow of the dying sunlight. Michiru's words of love hit me directly in the heart. A warm sensation spread throughout the core of my being as she conveyed her emotions to me. Someday I will return your feelings, I promise you that.
ありがとうございます、兄様。
I wonder if that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna have a situation where they find out little Michiru isn't gonna go back because the wash has repaired itself and she didn't disappear. And then they're gonna kind of confess their love then. And maybe that's how they'll end it, something like that. I'm not sure if they'll end it there or just a little bit after that. I think that event's gonna be like the concert in Misaki's route, though. I think that's where we're gonna kind of converge. Promise between us alone. Little Michiru was still fast asleep on my back, leaving just two people to share that special moment. A beautiful emotion took a hold of me for one fleeting moment, then disappeared with the setting of the sun. Be with me. I want to be with you. Such were the messages our hearts exchanged. It was a good scene. I did like it. This job does... Alright. This visual novel, excuse me, I should... My mind thinks too fast sometimes. This visual novel does a good job of building us up to events. Like it has a lot of events where they're like talking and having this conversation, like between Crow and Michiru. They're talking about waiting for him to confess his feelings, and then they have this moment where he kind of was like reassuring her that yes, I am going to confess my feelings. There's good, uh, good progression. I'm trying to think of words to use. There's good progression to it all, which I really like. The instant homeroom ended, I immediately stood up from my seat. My backpack was already packed and ready to go. I wanted to meet up with Michiru and go see little Michiru right away. Just as I was leaving, Shuji called out to me. What the heck? I don't talk to you anywhere. No, not at all. Can't you see that? I'm trying to get out of here. I know, because school sucks. What do you mean? Dang, we're missing out on Makoto time, guys. Come on, we're slacking. Oh, yeah, actually, I still have to go. Guys, we gotta get out of here. At Suji's comment, Makoto and Didi joined in the conversation too. It was true that I hadn't hung out with them lately, but I didn't have the time for it. It was more important for me to spend time with Michiru. I promised to be together with her after all. Man, you're like when a guy gets a girlfriend and he just kind of like ditches his friends. Like you're that kind of person, and it's not good. I understand you kind of made a commitment to her, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna spend as much time with you because you're not gonna be here forever. But like, if she's not gonna be here forever, these guys are, and if you blow these guys off now, they might not want to hang out with you anymore. Koto trailed off mid-sentence, looking up at me with a troubled expression. He is a secret lover. You what? Hell, you already knew that, Didi. Alright, you win this round, Didi. You win this round, Gosai. It isn't, not in the slightest, that's why I'm leaving. It wouldn't have been hard to explain, would have been something that I wanted to know. On the other hand, they wouldn't be convinced if I avoid the question altogether, and I certainly wouldn't want to be misunderstood either. And besides, friends are supposed to be people you can rely on. If you were going to ask to hang out with me, then don't you have anything left to do in the classroom, right? I can explain while we walk. So I ended up telling them a little bit about little Michiru while walking through the hallways. I'd already mentioned one of my relatives was staying with us, so it wasn't that hard to convince them about it. The only problem was that they were almost too interested in her, although that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Freaking, we're just out of everywhere. Where's Misaki? We need to invite her too. And Miyu. Well, let's just invite Miyu while we're at it. Won't mind, just be careful not to scare her, okay? What? These three are the least scary, threatening people in the entire game. Little Michiru's personality was fundamentally cheerful, but she wouldn't put up barriers to protect herself from people she didn't know. I just wonder if they're gonna like make the connection. They're just like, oh, that's little Michiru. Thinking of it that way, it probably would be a good chance to help her meet more new people. Little Michiru wouldn't ever mature into a fine young lady if she didn't open up to more people, as long as they didn't put any funny ideas in her head, of course. Might be hard for her to get along with someone she just met, though, so she needed to be patient with her. Uh-oh, she's meeting us at the school. The girl staying with us is also named Michiru. Quite a coincidence, huh? That's right. Hey, no, wait. Just a minute. Slowly I turned in the direction of their gaze, step by step, inch by inch. Before I knew it, the shadow in the corner of my eye jumped into my chest. Little Michiru, what are you doing at school? How'd you even get here? How can I not be surprised at this, woman? I looked over in the direction she was pointing, and there was a car parked outside. Our chauffeur was standing there, too. She didn't need to point that out. Well, whatever, putting that aside. I'm so sorry, little Michiru. Did you get bored at home?
そうじゃないよ。レイをお迎えしてあげたかったの。年頃の男の子は女の子にお出迎えしてもらうと嬉しいって聞いた。
Okay, hold up. You're not wrong, okay? But no, that's in a different context. I see. Well, you did make me happy, so thanks. Where did she hear that anyway? Something that she saw on TV, perhaps? Man, I wish she'd just watch educational nature documentaries instead of those corny, drippy-ass soap operas. When I was lost in thought about that stuff, Makoto walked over to introduce herself.
びっくりさせちゃってごめんね。私はレイ君のクラスメートで城之内誠っていうの。
Kodo bent down a little Michiru's eye level and showed her a big smile.
みちるちゃんって呼んでもいいかな。はい。こんにちは。沢渡みちるです。緊張しなくても大丈夫ですよ。見た目は優しいお姉さんですから。
Dang, Dee Dee has her figured out. Dee Dee knows. She knows. She's nice on the outside.
それだと中身は優しくないよ。
Oh, frick, she noticed too.
おお、私がシールド代わりですか。
Yes.
なるほど、了解しましたですよ。メイ
Oh
ドとし
my.
て一肌脱いでみせましょう。
Yeah, what are you, Dee Dee? What is she, a Pokemon?
あれ、なんで私が悪者になってるの？ここは食い止めますから。皆さんは私に任せて先に行ってください。
We can't leave yet. We're still waiting for Michiru.
うっかりでした。
Also, could you both please try not to scare little Michiru? Thank you.
完全に巻き添えじゃなかった？
No, you don't get representation. This isn't a court of law. It was the demeanor of yours which scared her in the first place, you know.
大丈夫ですよ、誠さん。誠さんは怖いんじゃなくて、かっこかわいい女の子ですとも。それ、かっこかわいいみたいで、素直に喜べない。
Intimidating doesn't necessarily equal scary in the first place. It was all good. To begin with, little Michiru was actually nervous about going somewhere she hadn't been to before for the first time. If not for that, she wouldn't be quietly trying to hide away from people. By the way, what are you doing standing all the way over there, Shuji?
いや、なんつうか、いろいろと複雑なんだよ。
My guy. Is this because he's attracted to Michiru and he sees little Michiru and he's feeling things? Pedophile. I keep holding back saying it. I'm like, no, we can't say that in Japanese games. We don't say that word. They're a lolicon. Looks like the girl just turned him down. Whatever. As a big brother of sorts, I'm not sure if I want Shuji getting that close to her anyways.
そこに混じると悪目立ちする。
I see. Fair point. Anyway, screw you, Shuji. Trying to hint on little Michiru. Looking around, I saw a bunch of students who were passing by but had stopped to gawk at us. Little Michiru already stood out, and Dee Dee and Makoto's weird exchanges had undoubtedly made them stand out as well. When Michiru gets here, we should hurry home. Wait a second. If Michiru comes with us along with Dee Dee, Makoto, Shuji, and the driver, that's 7 people in total. There's no way all of us will be able to fit in the car. Dee Dee, I'm gonna have the chauffeur drive on home without us, so see to little Michiru for me.
どどーんとお任せください。
Okay. Freaking Dee Dee. Oh. Boom, bang, a bang. Just leave it to me.
頑張るね。
Oddly enough, I trusted little Michiru more than Dee Dee. That's a good thing. Dee Dee looked a bit peeved, but she would forget about it soon enough while we were playing with little Michiru.
ねえレイ君、親戚にあんな小さい子っていたっけ？
As I was walking to the school gate, Makoto popped up in front of me.
それもみちるちゃんにそっくりだし、名前も同じだなんて。
Was he worried about Makoto, or was it Misaki? He was worried about one of them figuring it out because they would know his family tree pretty well. Should have figured Makoto would be suspicious about this. Yeah, I'm guessing it was with Makoto then. A girl like this in our family would have come up in conversation at some point, whether at a party or some other social gathering. It's complicated, the circumstances.
そうか。それは困ったね。
She didn't look entirely convinced, but it seemed like she could sympathize for our problems. Surely Jonichi family deals with internal strife owing to complicated circumstances more often than my own family, after all. In hindsight, that was a pretty dodgy way of explaining it to her.
レイ君、もしかしてあの子って
Kodo moved in closer to say something, her voice sounding deadly
レイ
serious.
君の隠し子
Wow, yes, you got it. You hit the nail right on the head. Where did you get that idea from?
責任は取らなあかんよ
Why are you telling me? You're not even involved in this. Get out of here. I'm taking responsibility for her, but she's not a love child, okay?
ならいいんだ
Okay. She's like, just sudden mood change. No, wait, that's not the end of it. You're still misunderstanding something. Makoto's expression was very sympathetic. She seemed ready to say, I can cover up the evidence for you as a friend, of course. I anticipated the sympathy, but if I didn't tell her the truth, she'd still be convinced little Michiru was my daughter. I looked up at the sky as if I could find a solution there. Then I looked down again and sighed. I was worried that my silence would give Makoto further reason to doubt me. Oh, finally you show up. Oh, you brought everyone else. Let's just have a big party then. Why not? Let's just show everyone little Michiru. Yeah, by the way, this is totally not a smaller version of Michiru, and it's definitely not my love child. Because she isn't. Hearing little Michiru's cheerful voice, I looked over and saw a certain trio of people conversing amongst themselves headed in our direction.
ミチルですか
Then they didn't realize little Michiru was there until she called out, at which point they all looked around. All three of them reacted differently, but they were all shocked to see the little girl. Little Michiru ran over to Michiru as fast as she could, but she didn't jump into Michiru's arms. She stopped in front of Michiru, then slowly moved closer to hug her big sister, almost as if she was purposely trying not to startle her. The fact that little Michiru was so considerate of Michiru's disability could be taken as proof that the two had grown closer.
ミチルおかえりただいまというのはまた違いますが迎えに来たのそれでは説明になっていませんよ理由や手段もわかりませんしなんでもありませんそれよりミチルは一人ですかあっちにレイと DD がいるよだからね今日はみんなで一緒に帰ろうそうですね仲良く帰りましょうか
Michiru smiled tenderly and patted little Michiru on the head. I was quite accustomed to seeing the heartwarming way in which these two sisters interacted, but all the people around me let out gasps of surprise. Maybe just a little pissed off. You too, Makoto.
いやだってミチルちゃんがお姉ちゃんしてるし
Well, I guess it's something you don't see every day, but is it really that surprising to
驚
you?
くよミチルちゃんがレイ君以外とあんな風に話すの見たことないもん楽しそうだし優しそうだし嬉しそうだし
I mean, to be fair, Makoto's got a point here. I don't feel like we've ever really seen Michiru interact with anybody so nicely, besides little Michiru and us.
おまけにさレイ君の妹なのに大人びた雰囲気出てたでしょお姉さんっていう以上に慈愛に満ちてる気がするけど
Well, yeah, the kid is her younger sister after all.
妹か
She's one of our relatives, but she's like a little sister to us. So would you kindly wipe that I called it look off your face? But seriously, this isn't my love child. Little Michiru is a member of my family, and I do get along with her very well, but it's definitely not the sort of relationship Makoto seemed to think it was. In any case, seeing the odd couple of Michirus getting along so well made it harder for anyone else to interrupt them. Several other students had gathered around us to watch, but right now they both existed in their own little world where nothing else mattered. Michiru's two friends who had been excluded from the conversation that moment, little Michiru appeared, stood awkwardly at the wayside.
こんにちはレイ先輩誠先輩こんにちはあの子が前に言ってた親戚の子
Yes, that's her. She's one of my relatives. Thank you, Misaki, for not making a big deal out of it.
なんで繰り返したのよ意味わかんないんだけど
Because it's something very important.
大事な子だもんね
Whatever, I'm done trying to convince her now. Considering Makoto's personality, I didn't expect her to gossip about my personal life. Surely no harm would come of her little misunderstanding.
家に遊びに行くって話だけど今日はやめておくわ
Shuji's like, I'm done with this shit. There's way too many girls here, I'm out. How did something come
そ
up?
うじゃねえよ完全に場違いだからだ
私も遠慮しておくねお邪魔になりそうだしレイ君とミチルと みちるさんの仲がとっても良くて混じりづらいのですよ。
You think so? In that case, I couldn't do anything about it. Not one damn
嬉
thing.
しそうですね。
Well, I am. It soothed my heart just to see my sisters walking down the street and holding hands. Michiru was cute when she acted immature and tried to compete with little Michiru, but it was nice to see she could act like a big sister
ねえ
too.
みちる、学校の中を探検してもいい？今日は遅いですから、また今度のお休みの日にしましょう。わかった。我慢するね。
I guess that suddenly gave us plans for the weekend. Well, fine by me. Even if we didn't have plans, I'd definitely be spending the weekend with Michiru anyways. That's true. That's pretty much about all we do, is spend time with Michiru or little Michiru. It's one of the Michirus. After we left school, the rest of my day was peaceful and relaxing as per usual. That evening, Dee Dee changed into her maid outfit and served tea to us while we watched anime together. There was a quarrel between the two sisters who would get to sit on my lap, but I settled that argument by having them sit on either side of me. The little Michiru ended up falling asleep, her head in my lap, right in the middle of the show while we were watching. Oh, I bet that made the bigger Michiru a little jealous. After the sunset, I woke her up so we could all have dinner. During those peaceful hours, it really did feel like we were a family. Once we had gotten into the bath, it was time for little Michiru to go to bed, if all went according to plan at least.
ほらみちる、布団に入りましょう。まだ眠くないよ。
Yeah, it's because you took that freaking nap. Perhaps owing to our long nap this afternoon, little Michiru was still full of energy.
眠くなるまで絵本を読みましょうか。絵本よりみんなで遊びたいな。
You want to play, huh? I'm not playing anything weird, though.
もう兄様ったらこんな時に変な提案をしませんわ。そういうのは二人きりになってからですよ。
I'm not doing it then either. I instinctively blushed at the lecherous little insinuations that came out of Michiru's mouth. Perhaps because of the promise we made the other day, Michiru looked more calmer than before. Though she was younger than me and my own little sister at that, she seemed much more of a motherly figure right now.
顔が赤くなってるよ。体調が悪いのでしたら看病いたしましょうか。
It's nothing, I'm totally fine, guys. Like how I was. Michiru was being more seductive than she'd ever been
ご
before.
主人様、失礼しますよ。
Totally skipped waiting for my response again, I see. Though I was honestly thankful to hear her changing the awkward atmosphere.
まあまあ、ちょっとご相談が。おや、みちるはまだ起きていたのですか？うん、起きてるよ。子供は寝る時間なのに困ったものです。
I want Dee Dee just to recommend something really off the wall. Just like, yeah, use a frying pan.
眠くないって言ってるでしょ。
That's what we do to kids in the
私そんな
UK.
に子供じゃないもん。
Honestly, I think realistically, the UK, they would probably give them tea. I feel like some kind of tea before bed, like a nice chamomile herbal tea. If I told her she was enough of a child as it were, she'd probably just pout at us even more. In any case, I had a hunch she'd gotten pretty tired soon. Michiru must have had the same thought I did, said she just nodded and said argument with little
わかり
Michiru.
ました。それではもう少しだけ起きていても構いませんよ。やったー。夜更かしは楽しいですからね。ね
I've heard it can be kind of bad for your health, though. Oh yeah, it's especially terrible to stay up too late. I don't know. Apparently, people who work the night shift have a higher chance of getting like heart attacks and things like that. Apparently, like your body is used to going to bed, you know, when it's dark and waking up when it's light out. But apparently, like there's an increased risk of getting a heart attack if you work a night shift. I wonder if that's just because people take energy drinks just to stay awake. I wonder if that really has to do with just being awake in the night versus like the things you have to do to make sure you can sustain yourself at night. I'd be curious. I've heard it can be kind of bad for your health though, especially the skin, though it wasn't that late right now
遊び
anyways.
ということですが、みちるは何かしたいことはありますか？そうだ。
She's gonna suggest playing Fortnite.
おままごとしたい。では、兄様と私が夫婦ですね。子供は何人がいいですか？
Aren't you going too fast for me here? I like how she's immediately on board with that. Like, house? I get to be his wife? Done. We're playing.
その通りです。誰がレイ君の奥さんになるのか話し合わないといけません。
Whoa, Didi, I know you're trying to help, but you need to open up that can of worms.
そんなことないですよ。私、レイ君のお嫁さんになりたいです。
No, you're not being our wife. Stop. Nobody's being the wife. Couldn't tell if she was purposely playing up her corny accent or if she was just being her usual self. I wonder that too, right? I wonder that a lot.
ダメ。例のお嫁さんは私だもん。では、間を取って、3人ともお嫁さんというのはいかがでしょうか。
Oh no. Oh no. We're getting into a whole separate taboo here. We have an incestuous, polyamorous relationship now. Oh boy. Where exactly is compromising that idea anyways? I am, but if you're all playing the wife, there's no point in playing.
そう言い切られてしまっては仕方ありませんね。
Dang, we're really going into taboos here, guys.
兄様が誰を妻にするか選んでください。さあ、兄様、選んでください。
I like how little Michiru has an actual stare and Didi is just like crazy big eyes. Oh, what did I just make a terrible mistake? No matter who I pick, someone is gonna be mad at me. No way, I'm just deciding roles for a game, right? I don't even think that hard about it, do I? Do we have to fight over this?
の奥さんをゲットですか。現地妻という可能性もありますね。
No, 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 no.
現地妻って何？
No, no.
船と港の役割で説明するのがセオリーですね。
Like a China who's on the game or something. What? Didi's going off the rails here. Both of you, stop putting weird ideas in her head. Michiru is a lost cause by now, but I prefer Michiru who grew up to be a good girl. At the very least, I wouldn't want her to become a girl that makes sexual advances on her brother.
君はお父さんみたいになってますね。すでに兄様はおままごとの役割に入っているみたいですね。
I kind of read over it and I thought about it more. I'm like, this is... Very least, I wouldn't want her to become a girl that makes sexual advances on her own brother. The irony. He's trying. This is his whole reasoning for raising little Michiru. He's trying to undo everything that's happened. Yeah, I wonder about that. If I thought I refused to do it, then things would be even more troublesome. Wait, does that make me the father by default?
私の息子でも構いませんよ。その際は一緒にお風呂コースですが。
No, 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 no. In that case, I'll settle for the father. Although I'll turn to just sound even worse.
それじゃあ、では私は妻にしましょうか。おめかくさんでお願いします。
You guys are so dumb. Those are all the same thing. Well, kind of. Mistress doesn't necessarily have to be, but that's still just as bad. How about you guys are all the daughters? We could do something like that. For God's sake, we're playing house here, not playing harem. After much deliberation, Michiru became the mother. Didi became Michiru's little sister, and little Michiru became the daughter of the family. Going by the real ages, Didi would be the mother, and Michiru would be her younger sister. But whatever, no point in sweating the small stuff.
さて、役割が決まったところで、次は場面設定について考えましょうか。
Michiru was really getting into it. Yeah, I can tell. Must have been because we hadn't played this kind of childish game in a long time, but I wanted to believe she wasn't seriously using this as an opportunity to plead her case as to why she'd be a good wife. I know, I raised over here like, you don't have to sell me on it. Like, I already like you, and I told you I'm gonna confess my feelings to you when the time's right. It's like, you don't have to convince me. I already made up my mind.
兄様は沢渡の次期社長。今は重役のポストについて勉強中といたしましょう。
That's too real for me.
私は沢渡とは別の会社の社長令嬢ですね。会社的に兄様とは政略結婚のような形で結ばれましたが、以前から思い合っていた関係でお願いします。
I don't know. This sounds like a story that'd be on Wattpad. Why do we need that kind of suspiciously specific setting anyways? Heck, wouldn't that just be Misaki's role?
兄様、いいですか？確かにおままごとではありますが、遊びでやっているわけではないのですよ。
She's like, I'm gonna take my wife duty seriously. You're taking this too seriously, though. I couldn't even get the word in edgewise.
私はお嬢様の家へ養子としてもらわれ、お嬢様の専属メイドになった女の子ですよ。 そしてレイ君とは幼い頃に結婚の約束を交わした中でお願いします。
You're so dumb. Well, you quit making things more
お
complicated.
嬢様の腰入れと一緒にやってきた設定ですね。そしてレイ君のメイドでもあります。
This sounds suspiciously like you're trying to paint a picture that could be happening in the very near future.
というわけでご主人様の好きにしちゃってくださいませませ。
No, don't say that. Take it back. Censor it. We're just trying to decide a setting for playing house here, aren't we? No playing house or not. Their real desires are way too obvious. I wish both of them would just cool their jets a little.
私もいい？
These two are so dumb. They made this entire thing about themselves, and then little Michiru's like over here, like, can I play? She's the one who wanted to play this in the first place. What kind of setting did you have in mind? Turned away from the two comedians, I directed my attention to the little girl politely sitting on the floor instead. I was more relaxed since I knew little Michiru wouldn't say anything ridiculous.
私は例の子供でもいいけど、その
Little Michiru's energy from before seemingly disappeared. Instead, she was nervously twiddling her thumbs. When I saw that, I couldn't help but feel a little concerned about what sort of embarrassing setting she might propose.
ね、呼び方なんだけど、
After a moment's pause, she pointed to me and then to
お
Michiru.
父さん、お母さん。あら。
Oh no. Oh no. Mommy and Daddy, huh? Right, I just remembered that. Starting from around when we had been little Michiru's age, our parents were very busy with work. Our parents were around during our infancy, and once we were old enough that we didn't need constant attention, we started to see less and less of them. I understood that our parents were busy, so I spent as much time as I could with Michiru instead. Even then, I could only be a brother to Michiru, not a parent. Michiru undoubtedly would have felt lonely at times.
あれかな。
Oh no, I don't mind. How about you?
はい、もちろんです。
Well, yeah, nobody thought Michiru was gonna mind. Of course we didn't mind. We were family after all.
あなた、
Darling. Darling.
みちるに妹を作ってあげましょう。
You just had to ruin the mood there. There was no time to be getting sentimental about the past. Although I could tell that Michiru intentionally interrupted to keep me from
み
doing
ち
just
るお
that.
嬢様に妹とはおめでたいですね。では、私はお祝いにアップルパイを焼きましょうか。
Heck yeah, let's do it. Okay.
本当にアップルパイ焼いてくれるの？
I'm like, frick, apple pies take forever, though.
もちろんですとも。
Just pies in
私
general
は
take a
ここ
long
の
time.
メイドですからね。やったー。私ね、DD の作るアップルパイ大好き。たくさん作りますよ。いっぱい食べて大きくなってくださいね。DD 大好き。
Oh, that's cute. Well, whatever. It was fun playing with just two people, but it'd be even more fun if everyone played together.
みちるったら
Michiru didn't look dissatisfied either. On the contrary, she had quite a jovial smile on her face. This is nice. I felt something tugging at my heartstrings watching her smile warmly at the little girl. This pleasant feeling made me want to be with her all the more.
ど
Michiru.
うしましたか、兄様。いえ、あなたでしょうか。
Okay, we can just skip that, right, guys? We were playing house, then right now we're mommy and daddy.
でしたら夫婦仲良くしなければいけませんね。キスをしましょう。
Michiru, you were getting better. What happened? Hey, I can't just get into this if you're gonna just rush into the extreme end of
少
things.
しばかり先走ってしまいましたね。徐々に慣らしながらにしましょう。
I didn't want to ask her what we would have to do to get used to it. I don't mind being friendly, at least little Michiru and Didi are
そ
definitely getting
のよう
along.
ですね。子供を取られてしまいました。
Well, who cares? You're the wife. It's the maid's role to look after the children. The other two weren't paying any attention to us. Instead, we were playing with a stuffed animal and having quite a bit of fun. Little Michiru was very well behaved, and Didi was surprisingly good with children. I wonder if our future will be anything like
DD
this.
さんを養う決意をしたということですね。
How would you come to that conclusion?
私は沢渡の家でメイドとして雇うつもりなのかという意味だったのですが。
Of course I knew
なら
that.
いいのですが、兄様、みちると DD さんが気にしてしまいますよ。
No, it's nothing. Just playing house here. I showed open palms to them to profess my innocence. Don't mind us. Then Michiru took my outstretched hands and placed them on her chest. I didn't resist. DD was strangely considerate for once choosing to cover little Michiru's eyes. What are we doing here?
今は私が兄様の妻ですから。よそ見はしないでください。
Beneath the soft flesh on my hands, I could feel Michiru's heartbeat racing. Are you nervous?
そうかもしれませんね。こうして兄様と触れ合っているのですから。
Got some sus stuff going on here,
兄
guys.
様の妻と自称するのもこちらは好用かもしれませんが。
I like how we totally hijacked this. This is supposed to be about getting little Michiru to go to sleep, and we're just here like having this whole intimate conversation. Michiru was blushing, but she actually seemed nervous. In fact, her heartbeat still didn't seem anxious as much as it seemed love-struck. Maybe I can empathize with that. Being around you calms you down, but sometimes it makes my heart race
そ
too.
れはどのような意味で？
A lot of things. I'm overly conscious of you as a member of the opposite sex since you're such a charming woman.
そう言っていただけるのは嬉しいのですが、ままごとの役として
Oh, gosh, she had such a long pause there. I thought she was done talking. Wonder
兄様
myself.
は意地悪ですね。私の気持ちは分かっているのに、そのようなことを言って。
I think to be fair, yeah, he does say some sentimental things, knowing that she's not going to take it like a sister. She's going to take it as something more. Of course, I understood, which is why I enjoyed teasing her so much, and Michiru understood that too. I do love her, but I tease her out of affection as her elder brother. I don't know which of these feelings is strongest, but I do know that Michiru is the most precious person in my life. Little Michiru is dear to me as well. She's my little sister and part of my family, though I certainly didn't look at her the same way as with
兄様
Michiru.
の胸、強く脈打っていますね。
Well, yes, since you're touching me like this, of course it would be. Michiru put her hand on my chest and then inched ever closer until we were pressed against each
兄
other.
様、お願いします。
We're literally in a room where there's literally people in the room. Can you not? Moved her face closer and closer and closed her eyes, a gesture which indisputably said she wanted me to kiss her. Upon seeing that, there was no trace of hesitation or refusal in my mind, so I put my hand on her cheek as if it was the most natural thing in the world. I pulled Michiru tightly into my arms as she twisted with surprise, combing back her hair as I did so. Bringing my lips closer, I pressed them to her forehead. I made a smooching sound with my mouth. The kiss made a wet sound, and even louder than that was the sound of someone clearing their throat. A louder sound must have come from Michiru. You know, it's kind of embarrassing for me if you don't have anything to say.
恥ずかしいのはむしろ私です。
Huh? No, but you told me to.
ですが。
She's like, I didn't expect you to do it. Even if it wasn't, like, all the way. I thought she fell into bed, but she just struck her head under the covers without covering her butt. I'm just waiting for her to say, that's verboten. Wait for what? You were the one who told me to do it. Besides, it wasn't the first time I'd kissed Michiru. The last time when Michiru forcibly pushed herself on top of me. I don't know if you could call that a childhood memory or not.
最近の兄様は大胆すぎてペースを持っていかれてしまいます。
All I did was to smooch her forehead, and yet it made her this happy and embarrassed. Michiru would be overjoyed at the slightest affection as I swayed towards her. Thinking about that fact warmed my heart. I wanted to please her more. I wanted to see her smile more. I wanted to make her even more happier. I haven't been doing anything differently, have I?
ですが、兄様の雰囲気が違います。愛情が子宮まで走ってきました。
That was the weirdest way you could have said that. Why did you describe it like this? Like, I don't even know what to say about that.
そのようなことを言わせているのは兄様です。
Whoa, whoa, whoa. She crawled over to my own fours and leaned her body against mine. Her cold fingertips touched and traced the edges of my
可愛
lips.
い妹をたぶらかす兄様にはお仕置きしなければなりませんね。
Hey, let's not confuse it. This was not my idea, okay? Michiru sat in my lap and brought her face closer to me. I knew what was about to happen. I put my arms around Michiru's body and didn't move away. This seems like such an awkwardly inappropriate scene for having Dee Dee and little Michiru in the room. I hope they like either are looking away or have left. Her lips touched my cheek.
避けないのですね。兄様。
I've never seen it, but what's that show called? Is it Yosuga no Sora? That's what I feel like I'm watching right now. That hunch you in and try to kiss me on the
それは
lips.
欲しいことをしましたね。唇にできる好機でしたのに。
I'll just have to punish my naughty little sister for thinking like things like that, won't I? I hugged Michiru's head to my chest before she could say weirder things in response.
まさかここで抱擁が来るなんて兄様は大胆すぎます。
You know, typically it'd be me who always ends up saying that to you.
つまり普段から大胆に迫っていれば兄様からも返していただけると。
No, that's not what anybody said. I expected Michiru to justify that statement with more bizarre logic, so I hugged her body close in response. If I didn't, then gazing at her face would have caused me to say something I'd end up regretting.
兄様少し苦しいです。
Can y'all control yourselves? I hastily loosened my grip and Michiru undid my work by hugging me tightly
苦しい
instead.
です。こんなに胸が高鳴るのは初めてかもしれません。
Yeah, she was right. I could empathize with that feeling all too well. Me too, Michiru. I hugged her back and caressed her head. I couldn't see her face since we were so close. Even then, I knew that our feelings were mutually understood.
大好きです。愛しています。
So do I. I love you, Michiru. As my sister, as family, and as a girl, those were the ways in which I loved Michiru. At that moment, I felt there was no need to set up arbitrary barriers like those in a relationship. I love you, Michiru. I combed my fingers through Michiru's hair to express my feelings to her. As I did so, I finally realized, whenever we were alone together, I desired Michiru as a woman. Full of my feelings of love and affection as well, I realized I was finally able to clearly say those three little words to her, I love you. I still couldn't say that I could make her happy, but I felt able to clearly say that I would try.
キス、兄様を感じさせてください。
And when she said those words, there was no going back and holding back either. I didn't want to kiss her for the pleasure of it. I wanted to kiss her so that I could convey my feelings of love to her. Still awkward because I feel like people are watching, but sure, we can go for it, I guess. Once I pressed against Michiru's bright red lips, after that I just might... Oh, we're finally getting interrupted. I'm like, dang.
そこはサイレントモードにしてください。だって二人ばっかりチューしてるんだもん。
Shit, I totally forgot about those two. Yeah, I was waiting for you guys to notice. They didn't leave. Here I was enjoying myself and Michiru so much I popped off to La La Land right in front of them. What's wrong with me?
兄様。
Even when flustered, Michiru was cute. No, wait, I wish Didi and little Michiru would stop staring at her so much. The atmosphere in the room had become rather strange, and that was undoubtedly caused by her actions. And even if it took something completely crazy to do it, I had to change this atmosphere. Shall we continue? Not that, playing house.
先ほどのはままごとだったのですか?
Oh, for God's sake, stop making this even more complicated.
ダメだよ、ディーディー。からかうとお馬さんに蹴られるんだよ。おお、そうだったのでありますか?
He's like, really? Well, Michiru's quite a clever girl, though it was a little worrying that she knew about strange things like that. Since the weird knowledge might ultimately lead her to become the present-day Michiru, I couldn't decide whether that was good or bad.
そろそろ今日はお開きにしましょうか。その代わり明日はたくさん遊びましょう。ね。
That sounds nice. There's still more places around town we could show her. As the conversation continued, I gradually started to calm down. All I had left to do was to go to bed. I needed a good night's sleep to get myself together. Okay then, little Michiru, is there anywhere you want to go
遠出は
tomorrow?
できませんけど、電車で行ける範囲なら構いませんよ。
Finally managed to change the subject. I was still a bit concerned about the smirk on Didi's face. I'll have to talk to her later, make sure she doesn't start going around saying anything weird.
そうだ。お花畑に行ってもいい?
The flower field sounds nice.
と言いますと、昔兄様と言ったあの場所でしょうか?
That must be it. I glanced at Michiru's face and the memory made us both nod reflexively. While we were young, Michiru and I went there to play. We haven't gone there lately. The last time we went was before Michiru lost her
一度く
sight.
らいの年頃でしたね。
Michiru had the same thought as me. The scenery probably hadn't changed that much in the intervening years, so little Michiru could become familiar with that place there as well. It'd be fun to go to such a nostalgic place together with Michiru too. Alright, then let's go together.
お出かけだ。では、私はお弁当を作りますね。今度こそフルにハンドメイ
yes.
ドしてみせます。メイドだけに。
That sounds so good. I want to go. You should just start out by helping in the
リー
kitchen.
さんの作ったアップルパイは美味しいのですから。練習すれば上手になりますよ。頑張ってね、ディーディ。お任せください。応援に応えてみせましょう。
Okay, but tomorrow's a school day, so we won't need lunch boxes. Yeah, we still have to go to school, guys. That atmosphere was boisterous. Michiru, Didi, and little Michiru were all having fun. While imagining what the future had in store for me, a smile drifted to my lips. There's so many fun things ahead in the future, so many things I want to do that I won't have time to do them all. Every day has felt fulfilling since little Michiru came. I'm sure tomorrow will be another happy day. It has to be. Yeah, it's gonna get more closer to you two actually macking. So you know what's gonna happen. Alright, well it seems that we're back at school again. Seems to be going, we go to school a lot. It's like, a lot of novels are interesting because they'll kind of skip over the school parts unless they're like really relevant to the story. But the school is just for us to like really talk to classmates and then have them accuse us of having love children. I feel like that's really what these school sequences are for. Anyways, we're gonna stop here. We're gonna end it and figure out what's gonna happen today in the next video. So I appreciate you guys, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Have a good one.